angle, off on the spawn angle. They're just masterful at these two spots. And a P. We invested into a Molotov this round, which is actually something that we saw the Brazilian team do as well. Even in Ecos, they would buy 3, I think, which was really, really overpowering. Can be really hard to stop. And then they had some Tech 9s as well. We'll see. Get right. Molotov into back here, so no one can stand in that back side corner there. Olafmeister already being shot at a little bit. NIP just trying to see if they can rush here before the rotation gets in. Krim's missing the shot. He goes down to Alu. And Olafmeister trying to fall back. Flusher with a good kill on Forest. Very important that they stabilize here. And Flusher's going ham with the P90, getting up 2 kills. Olafmeister to take Freiburg. It's back and forth, and JW falls, and I'm not sure how. Pronax, could he do the damage here? The bomb is ticking away. They got to be careful because Olafmeister's very nearly dead. And oh, Alu, what a shot. He gets the triple kill, and now it's all on Olafmeister. Charging in, picks up 1. And now 1 grenade out. Olaf fakes it here, and Alu gets the kill, and it's a quad in the follow-up round. NIP steal it back. What an there by Alu, getting on spawn, saving the round for NIP with that frag. Just keeping his composure like that, that's amazing. Stuart, you asked us in the previous map, did Alu announce himself to the world stage just now? I think it's quite a firm answer here. I
think we're seeing a boy become a man on the stage.
And here's Fnatic with that 3rd round rebuy that I talked about. They're not afraid to buy up right here with hardly anything against rifles. NIP has a MAC-10 still. This could be scary for NIP.
Was that a cheap give of Exist life there? Or should they have been expecting that push?
They probably should have, because what Fnatic really likes doing on Inferno when they have low money is exactly what you saw. They like to just rush banana and take those fights. It's something that they didn't start doing up until maybe a couple months ago, but I've noticed that when they have low money, they're not afraid to take that fight. And they do it with very little nades. It's just an aim battle at that point, and then they take back control and back off, play 4A.
So, their weapon superiority, but a man down. How do they play out the rest of this round?
They're just trying to wait out the smokes right now and just really force Fnatic into a default setup. Because right now Fnatic's so mobile around the map, using smokes to their advantage. It's one of the best attributes to their CT Inferno game, is the fact that they're rotating around because of the smokes are up in certain places.
Well, Molotov's being used inside, and actually Fnatic have to move. Because them, here's Olafmeister going down, JW with the P90, good double kill, grenade on through, tag spreader will get right a lot, and JW can't get the 3rd kill, so close though with the P90. Flusher, waiting over here, P250 hand, gonna take out Alu easily, but he does go down eventually. Pronax will finish it. A solid round, I think, from Fnatic, and in spite of NIP screens, I actually initially thought they purchased those Molotovs to clear all the corners, but they used them for the B push instead.
Yeah, they got thrown off a little bit, I think, when they went down that man, and unfortunately for them, they lost the P90. And that's typically not that bad of a thing, but when JW picks up the P90, that's like the worst thing possible. Guy's gonna get a 2K every time with that gun.
2-1 Fnatic lead in map 3 of the grand final. It's JW who will see action first as Alu comes racing around that corner and delivers a headshot with a smile.
It's not a fight that JW will normally lose. He wins it 80% of the time. He's so good, even with an AWP, but especially with the Mag-7 as well. JW is the king of the Mag-7. He's just always one Mag-7ing people. And honestly, mid-ranges too.
NIP just feeling out their CT opponents to see what comes post-death of JW. Olafmeister and Krim's home at B. May even put up a little welcome mat, because here will come this next push. It's Forest to lead the charge. First shot is a headshot onto Krims. Olafmeister then with 2 of his own before going down to the hands of Exist. 3 on 2, bomb going down, and Flusher and Pronax to have to retake this B site.
Well, it's not going to be easy, but they do have a kit. The sad thing is for them, they have no grenades. And I'm wondering if they know how low NIP on health, because if they did, they might be able to just group up and simply run as a team and outgun them. Freiburg in a good position here. The AK Flusher walking right into that one. And Freiburg will pick it up here. Fnatic, it's back and forth in the early rounds, and generally when that happens, it's going to heavily favor the terrorist side. So much more expensive playing CT side, and it'll be really rough for them from here on out. Assist to take down Pronax. No rifle saved, whereas NIP survive barely. And the Fnatic team, Sean, what do you think? Are they going to force up one more time?
It would be hard to call a force buy right now in this round if I were the in-game leader of Fnatic, but I mean they've been known to do kind of crazy plays like that in the past. Here it is. They're going to force buy. This could put them in a really bad spot. And something really important to note right now in the game is Crims is having a hard time at B, and that's never something that happens on their CT Inferno. So it's really important to see Crims really find his own in B right now, get back to the form that we know he can be, and kind of be able to stop these nip hits that are coming towards the B bomb site. And perhaps that is because JW died early in halls and the smoke timings were off a little bit.
Do you think that's the reason why they've moved him over here, or is it just because of the pistol now that they feel a little bit better having Olofmeister with the Max 7 and B?
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm not sure why they're able to put Flush in B, considering he has like really the same equipment as Crims. Maybe that's just kind of like a decision Crims wanted to make, like he couldn't get anything going. Hey, I'm going to play Wrap this round. Just try to get a frag or two.
Will be a B push. Freiburg has gone a long way up, and Olofmeister will be the man to see it. Pronax is going to sense this, and he and Crims will move over to the B to join the fun. Olofmeister and that Max 7 are going to go real close as they use as a smoke to gain positioning. And we'll wait to see some feet on the other side. Has seen nothing thus far as NIP are knocking on the door. First opportunity. He waits. Then he takes his chance. It was Get Red on the other end of it. And Olofmeister doing a heck of a lot of damage in there. Freiburg and Alu get NIP some frags on the board. But Crims has Freiburg. And it's Alu 1-on-2 against Pronax. And I was going to say Crims, but no more. Pronax wins the round for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's a really interesting call actually right there by NIP though. That wall of smokes at the bomb site. They had to know that Fnatic's economy was extremely low. They obviously sensed that Fnatic bought that round because you wouldn't run a strat like that knowing that Fnatic would be on like a full eco. So NIP knew that Fnatic stress bought with those like $2,000 1-5 buys, and they liked to throw the wall of smoke in the B site, which is kind of weird considering they also threw Molotovs to clear out half the angles.
Look at the buy here from NIP. They are not afraid to force up in return, which involves Alan with the AW, the casual eco-op coming out here. And Olofmeister will open up on Get Right. Alu charging up into the middle. He picks up that kill on Pronax. But they did lose Freiburg in the meantime. If this ult really works to secure them the round, it's almost a miracle.
Alu just looking for someone to love in that A site. JW is the man playing hard to get. As Crims will find existence. Fnatic are 4-on-1 up here against Alu, who has written many a headline today, but won't be writing one now. 4-2 Fnatic.
And this is the point in the match where Fnatic's and each other stable out. They can finally breathe. NIP will ultimately have to finally eco around and kind of forfeit the economy game early match right now to Fnatic, and basically hope to grind out some later rounds.
Now I've asked you both in each map to position this for the new viewers who come into Counter-Strike as we again come close to that 800,000 mark. On Inferno, talk to us about the map. Who will be happier at what score and why?
I think Fnatic is honestly looking for about a 10 or 11 round half right here. NIP, honestly, they can be on CD side. They have had some positional changes. I know that kind of recently. So I would say NIP is looking for about 5 to 6 rounds. Fnatic is looking for about 10 to 11. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same area without a doubt. I think Fnatic, I don't want to say they should be lucky because they really fought hard for it, but it could have been such a bad half for them already if they didn't win that second force up that they had. So credits them for doing it, but now they're looking to close it out if they can. I mean, 13-2 isn't out of the question. They are a really strong team playing CT side. They're only just gearing up, it seems like. Flusher, what a nice spray there. Does take down Forest, but Get Right will be alone. It goes down to Pronax. Not much that he could have done.
What a
5-2.
Sure right there.
have seen some spectacular Counter-Strike thus far. It is 5-2 Fnatic, who defeated Virtus Pro to get here into the grand final. NIP took down the French side, Envy to get there. Fnatic have dropped but their first map in the tournament and their second map of the final here. They are the form side, they are the favorites. Why?
They're the favorites because of just how well they can abuse rotations with these nades they use. They smoke bottom banana, they Molotov the ramp, they instantly have bottom banana control. They're going to rotate one all the way back to A. They still have two in banana though, knowing that NIP might like to come through that smoke more than most teams. I think typically you would see Fnatic leave only one in banana, probably because JW is in the boiler with an op actually. He can get a lot of information and angles like that. Another showcase why they're so good on this map.
And sometimes we do refer to some players as being specialist players. I'd definitely say JW is that up in the apartments with all max 7. It's really scary, really hard to deal with. It's not like NIP don't know that he could have been there, but he's just that good at doing it. On nuke for the same player would have been hot. You see JW playing that hot and being really hard to deal with. Now he's falling back towards the car, just waiting for it. Still 45 seconds, and it's going to be hard for NIP to make a breakthrough. They need a clean edge frag, and when you're a man down, generally going B is a little bit easier, so that's what NIP are doing.
Will be JW just trying to chase out Exist so he can't anchor the attack, and that's exactly what he's done. The remaining two are Alu and Freiburg, who will go up against Olofmeister and Flusher in B, and Olofmeister just calmly tucks around the corner and says, no sir, bomb planted there.
Great job hiding right there, forcing out the second guy in that NIP situation where the time was so low. Olofmeister find out where they are, single them off, take them both out.
Really like to see NIP try and go for some more set strats on towards the A-bomb site. We've seen a couple of Fnatic players already playing up on the balcony. Going out of apartments. That spot can be smoked off, so can Pit. And if JW's playing closer than that, so he's in front of the smokes, if there are enough people coming around the corner, they will kill him. And then fight for the after partner instead. I feel like there's an opening here for NIP to make it through. Obviously this round going to be quite heavy up banana, and look at Freiburg, the king of banana, takes down Olofmeister and Crims. That's an opening if I've ever seen one. Pronax counter flash out, but look at NIP, they're playing it smartly, trying to make sure they don't rush into anything, but they're also getting sandwiched in, and they will actually kill off JW coming up from behind. What a victory. Get right, you can't really easily outwork him.
Massive play by Get Right there to get that frag. It's changed the complexity of the round. They've rotated all the way over towards A, where they will face off against Flusher 4-on-1 until Pronax can join the fun, and he's worried about Get Right. That's why he can't get in there quick enough. No one knows where Get Right might be in a situation like this, and with that bomb planted, Flusher and Pronax are reduced to having to allow NIP this round, and they will get their third.
You told us earlier, Sean, that JW is one of those really special players that will play a little bit crazily. How often will you see someone try and flank a team with an AWP? Let's say he actually got behind them and got a kill. He'd have to, take a second to get the next one. It's not a weapon you can spray down 3 people with. Very classic JW.
Yeah, he's one of the only players in the world that would make that push down middle with an AWP like that. It's just, even if there's anyone anywhere, like alt mid, halls, boiler area, he would get caught out and just caught in the middle. But JW is just so quick to react to those kind of players that those hectic situations favor him. But something that was really confusing to me at the start of that round was I couldn't wrap my head around why Crims and Olaf aren't buying Molotovs. They have a set economy. Why are they not playing their default setup that just has won them so many tournaments? And then I started thinking about what NIP does. They always do this default where they send Freiburg solo and banana. But NIP countered that, knowing that Fnatic is pushing now against them by sending 3 or 4 guys just rushing into banana. They know that Crims is uncomfortable over there in the B-bomb site and they're abusing it.
Well, look at this rush all the way up quad. They're going to get in here. All the Freiburg, they pick up 1 kill on Freiburg. They're not really sure. There's so many flashes going in that they can't really see where the Fnatic players are just yet. The Flush is in a good position here inside the site to try and lock them down. And now that NIP have slowed down, Fnatic are rotating in, and I think actually that's the reason why NIP decide, let's just fall back for a moment. We got a little bit of a rotation coming out of Fnatic, but they need an entry frag on that terrorist side.
Textbook display of what nades can do to a rush. NIP were in touching distance of the bomb site, but could go no further because they could see nothing. I think were being rained down upon.
That is very true, and I'm really liking the change of pace right now from NIP. They're typically seen as like a very slow-paced, methodical default team on Inferno where they try to get forced out of the boiler, lurk around brackets. If he gets a couple kills, they'll still go B because the rotations are forced towards A. This is much different than the standard NIP we've seen in past tournaments.
Sensing the rotation out of A, JW made his way all over to B, and now we'll go back. Here we go, the push is alive and well at A, which Olofmeister quickly sees to. Alu's been dropped as well, and we're left with just 2 players for Fnatic to find at this moment in time. And that is now down to 1. Get right out, has got himself the kill on JW, but will be hounded down until the clock runs out.
So the one thing that I had in mind earlier when I said they could have used smokes to get in, and most modest opinion is I wanted them to try and smoke off that corridor that they came inside the bomb site where all the flashes came through. If they'd had just a single smoke and NIP just ignored it and put the bomb down anyway, and then fought for the after plant. I feel like NIP have a chance to get just the default plant just by using 3 smokes essentially.
Yeah, that round could have gone completely different. Honestly, they took mid fairly well, even through that smoke. They just couldn't get the entry frag, I guess, and they had to back off.
So 7-3, something eco round for NIP. On the Fnatic side, they'll be looking at this as everything going to plan. The scoreboard's in their favor. They can close this out with a big number. On the NIP side, they'll be worried if they can't get 1 or 2 more. But from that position, in this final, are you looking to a player to single-handedly take control of the scoreboard for you? And if so, who's that going to be?
Honestly, if you're NIP at this point, I think Freiburg has to try and find some good entry frags. That's what he's there for, and especially in Inferno, he's an absolute god at it. But Olofmeister, look at this. Triple kill, really not afraid of anything. It's not a lot of equipment on NIP's side, but Fnatic are doing a great job holding on to their economy. But I think it's on Freiburg to open up some of these, either the A or B bomb site.
I agree 100% with Andrew. This match right now is going to lie in the hands of Freiburg and Banana, and Forrest lurking the boiler too. You see Forrest right now having a tough time finding entries in the middle. If he starts opening up rounds in the middle, this match could swing back in NIP's favor.
Well, we have 3 rounds with which to alter the story. If you're a Fnatic fan, however, you'll be beginning to build a wry smile.
They're one of the hardest working teams, Fnatic. Definitely. It's not coincidence that they've ended up here.
And here's Fnatic again doing this banana control where they're looking for fights here. And the reason being is because they know Freiburg typically enters banana all by himself.
The Fnatic fans have found their voice in the audience. It's been almost an exclusively NIP chant today, but no more.
Something else to look for here, if you want to think a little bit about how well Fnatic are playing in terms of their grenades, is look at the clock and then look how many they've got left. So we're just coming up on 50 seconds, still 2 smokes, just using 1 and 3 Molotovs. That's an enormous amount. That means Fnatic have really saved their smokes at this point in the game. And it's going to be hard for NIP to run anywhere. Nice pickup on Forrest. If they go back B now, there are 2 more players waiting. Anywhere they go, they're going to run into so many grenades. And now 35 seconds. It's one of the key reasons why Fnatic are as good as they are on this map. But here it comes. Big opening here as Exist and Alu will pick up 2 players. If they can kill Pronax, this could really happen. Pronax spraying, missing a lot. He's going to go down to Get Right. It's a 2v2. And they're in the site. Could they get the bomb down? Just 20 seconds. Molotov to buy time. And again, Fnatic, they could use these grenades that they saved all along to try and get the retake in. Get Right jumping up here, and the bomb is planted in a great position for him. Get Right. It goes down, and now it's on Alu, trapped in the corner, caged in here with just an AWP. This is definitely Fnatic trying to take. It's going to be a miracle if he can make it out. He's got 9 health. If they just want to look at him, he's going to go down, and Crims jumping and picking up a kill there. Good retake from Fnatic.
Yeah, great retake from Fnatic right there. Crims offing that guy in the halls. The awareness to know that only 1 entered the site. A little bit of a ghost comm there from Pronax after he dies. You get that maybe 5 or so seconds where you can kind of watch people move on your screen. I'm sure Pronax maybe told them that 1 gravitated towards the halls. Crims singles that guy out. Great job sticking together, swing peeking in backside.
So match paused. This time it's NIP who'll be wanting to make sure that they get something more out of this half, because just 3 is nowhere near enough going into the halftime. put all the pressure on that pistol round.
So I had two chats that are my favorite on this one. I was talking about just before we got into the game. One of them is a really explosive play that involves having a bunch of people up in A hallways and putting them out into the pit, more so that even if there's someone holding there, especially now that the M4A1 is so popular, you can't actually kill all of them. There's too many people raining in. Now, that could definitely be a thing, especially if they go for Tech 9 armor, considering their economy. The other thing that actually nobody in this tournament has spent a lot of time doing, it's gone a little bit out of fashion, is the B-split push going through Archway into the B-bomb site. Because Fnatic are so good, we talked about this, the combination of Crims and Olaf over there, if you try and run through without diverting their attention, it could get really rough. So if they can somehow make it into Archway, I'd like to see that as well.
I agree, and using the banana early round is something that NIP really needs to start doing more of. It was pretty successful for him that round that Freiburg got the 2 entries, and the reason being is because Fnatic's trying to kind of counter them, and they're doing it round after round after round, and it's basically allowing them to save grenades for much longer than they typically would. Because typically Fnatic would almost instantly smoke the car, they'd be down a smoke, and then around like probably 30 to 20 seconds, they'd have no more smokes at B. You may have one Molotov left, but the way they're pushing the front car with no nades, they're able to save their nades, and they could smoke out places till the end of the round. And NIP just ends up running through smokes, jumping into nades, running through Molotovs, and they just find themselves in really unfavorable situations. So it's important that NIP goes into the rest of these rounds either A, speeding up the pace towards the A-bomb site, like you mentioned, with an explosive hit, or B, taking banana control quick.
Sean, let's draw from your role as the Cloud9 in-game leader. What will those two be saying?
Both leaders on each team.
Yeah.
Well, Pronax is probably quite content with how his team's been playing. They've been executing exactly the same stuff every round. Here's that triple B push again, where they're not using many nades, and then they find out they're in banana and they just start dumping stuff.
Oh, it's been a slaughter as Flusher has helped himself to frags, and they just weren't able to get rolling, pushing up that banana walkway. And the firing squad lies in wait, Anders.
Not a lot that they can do at this point. Freiburg alone, it's a good kill coming in on Crims, and at least NIP managed to do a little bit of damage, but the Tech 9s aren't doing enough here. And Fnatic, they saw that coming. They had 3 members here, one more than they would maybe normally have, and it's a worthwhile investment for Fnatic, because if they don't run into that push, one of them is going to rotate back, and they'll be almost in the same position. Freiburg going to go down. Fnatic, really, really good read on their part. I mean, that's the thing when you obviously you'll spend that time talking, so you're still going to be, you're going to be up against something similar as well.
Yeah, it's not like the other team is put in 5 separate rooms during that time and they can't speak with each other. So that's something that's kind of misconstrued, I guess, with Worms. People take a timeout. Oh, he came back with such a good idea. Well, the other team's probably thinking, hey, they're probably thinking this is how they're going to counter our current setup. Let's change our current setup. So that's probably what you're seeing from both teams right now.
2 rounds left in the half. NIP needs something on the board to give them a platform for the second half. If not, Fnatic will be royally happy. 2 frags on the board though. Flusher waiting to take out first Forest. Second man is Alu. Couldn't quite get there quick enough, but Get Right is on the scene. And now it's a bomb to be dropped in by Freiburg with 4 men to defend it. And this is, unless to have some divine intervention, going to be NIP's 4th round. JW is the man who offers that hope with that first frag on to exist, who left him with just 21 points of health. Crims 81 and inching his way through the smoke, but time is against him as the bomb ticks away. He drops Get Right. JW's gone. It's all on Crims, and it's Alu who ends it. 10-4.
Yeah, and there again, you see back-to-back. This is really, he can kind of see thoughts. He sees Fnatic taking banana control every round. He has 2 options. Take banana control back and fight them for it, or do an explosive hit A like he just did, with Alu upping very aggressively fast in the halls, Get Right making the boiler jump instantaneously, no spamming involved typically, which is what you'd see from Get Right there. He just goes up right away. 2 quick frags.
It's actually stunning that NIP got 4 rounds with Forrest only having the single kill like you were just pointing out, Stuart, because normally we'd expect Forrest to be one of the main forces on this team. So that is a little bit shocking, actually. We're in the last round of this half. It is the third map here as the grand final at ESL 1. And right now, NIP, they desperately need that fifth round. I don't think 4 is enough. I think they need a fifth one, especially because you can't be sure you can win the pistol against Fnatic. So you need a buffer to try and get back into it if you don't. Olaf Meister, excellent kill on Freiburg there to stop the king himself. And falls back, has a Molotov, but look at the restraint here. Not using it yet. He could have tried to put it up out of panic. They just will get the one kill. Olaf Meister re-peeking, and he's still got the Molotov. They're really not easy to force here. JW from behind, gonna take down Alu. AWP doesn't quite hit the shot, but they're sandwiched in. Great round from Fnatic. This is absolutely beautiful play here. Forrest in a 1v3. He's gonna get 2 kills. And now he has to try and clutch it. If he could win this round, it almost doesn't matter that he hasn't done anything for the rest of the first half. He could be excused on that account. But Pronax's position is so good. Allows Forrest to get by, walks out cold as ice, and it's going to be 11-4.
One bullet execution as he tried to put that bomb down.